Yamunatiravanatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gope Janavalabha Giribaradari Jaya Gope Janavalabha Giribaradari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanatari Yamunatiravanatari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gope Janavalabha Girivaradari Jaya Gope Janavalabha Girivaradari Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanatari Yamunatiravanatari Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhata Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaura Premanande Hari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So how is everybody? This is the best time in Mayapur. It's nice weather. Not too cold, not too hot. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 13, text 14. Kañcit kālam athāvātsīt sat-kṛto deva-vat sukham bhrātur jyeṣṭhasya śreyas-kṛt sarveṣāṁ sukham āvahan. Kañcit kālam athāvātsīt sat-kṛto deva-vat sukham bhrātur jyeṣṭhasya śreyas-kṛt sarveṣāṁ sukham āvahan. Kañcit kālam athāvātsīt sat-kṛto deva-vat sukham bhrātur jyeṣṭhasya śreyas-kṛt sarveṣāṁ sukham āvahan. Kañcit kālam athāvātsīt sat-kṛto deva-vat sukham bhrātur jyeṣṭhasya śreyaḥ-kṛt sarveṣāṁ sukham āvahan. Please try. Kañcit kālam athāvātsīt sat-kṛto deva-vat sukham bhrātur jyeṣṭhasya śreyaḥ-kṛt sarveṣāṁ sukham āvahan. Matajis. Kañcit kālam athāvātsīt sat-kṛto deva-vat sukham bhrātur jyeṣṭhasya śreyaḥ-kṛt sarveṣāṁ sukham āvahan. Kañcit kālam athāvātsīt sat-kṛto deva-vat sukham bhrātur jyeṣṭhasya śreyaḥ-kṛt sarveṣāṁ sukham āvahan. Anybody else? kañcit for a few days, kālam time, atha thus, avātsīt resided, sat-kṛtaḥ being well treated, deva-vat just like a godly personality, sukham amenities, bhrātur of the brother, jyeṣṭhasya of the elder, śreyaḥ-kṛt for doing good to him, sarveṣāṁ all others, sukham happiness, āvahan made it possible. Translation by Srimad Bhagavatam. Thus Mahārāja Vidura, being treated just like a godly person by his kinsmen, remained there for a certain period just to rectify the mentality of his elder brother, and in this way bring happiness to all others. Please repeat after me. Thus Mahātmā Vidura, being treated just like a godly person by his kinsmen, remained there for a certain period just to rectify the mentality of his eldest brother, and in this way bring happiness to all the others. Purport. Saintly person like Vidura must be treated as well as a denizen from heaven. In those days, denizens of heavenly planet used to visit home like that of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, and sometimes persons like Arjuna and others used to visit higher planet. Hare Krishna. Nārada is a spaceman who can travel unrestrictedly, not only within the material universe, but also in the spiritual universes. Even Nārada used to visit the palace of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, and what to speak of other celestial demigods. It is only the spiritual culture of the people concerned that makes interplanetary travel possible, even in the present body. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, therefore, received Vidura in a manner of reception offered to the demigods. Mahātmā Vidura had already adopted the renounced order of life, and therefore he did not return to his paternal palace to enjoy some material comforts. He accepted out of his own mercy what was offered to him by Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. But the purpose of living in the palace was to deliver his elder brother, Dhritarashtra, who was too much materially attached. Dhritarashtra lost all of his estate and descendants in the fight with Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. And still, due to his sense of helplessness, he did not feel ashamed to accept the charity and hospitality of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. On the part of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, it was quite in order to maintain his uncle in a befitting manner. But accepting such magnanimous hospitality by Dhritarashtra was not at all desirable. He accepted because he thought that there was no alternative. Vidura particularly came to enlighten Dhritarashtra and to give him a lift to the higher status of spiritual cognition. It is the duty of the enlightened soul to deliver the fallen one, and Vidura came for that reason. But talks of spiritual enlightenment are so refreshing that while instructing Dhritarashtra, Vidura attracted the attention of all the members of the family, and all of them took pleasure in hearing him patiently. This is the way of spiritual realization. The message should be heard attentively, and if spoken by a realized soul, it will act on the dormant heart of the conditioned soul. By continuously hearing, one can attain the perfect stage of self-realization. Thus, Mahātmā Vidura, being treated just like a godly person by his kinsmen, remained there for a certain period just to rectify the mentality of his eldest brother, and in this way bring happiness to all others. Om Ajnana Diminandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshulmidam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravane Pracharine. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasatade Satarine. Vancha Kalpa Karubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhatta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I thank all of you for coming today to the Bhagavatam class. This is a very wonderful chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we can learn something from for our practical use. We can see here how Mahātmā Vidura he had this intense desire to deliver his eldest brother, Dhritarashtra. He thought that Dhritarashtra, after being defeated in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he lost everything. All his sons were dead, and his land, his kingdom, everything. So, and even after trying to kill the Pandava in so many different ways, Mahārāja Vidura thought, this is very funny, that somebody who is trying to kill the Pandavas now is taking shelter of the Pandavas. Of course, Srila Prabhupada explained that this was proper behavior or culture of the time. Vedic culture is to always welcome everybody, even including the enemies. So in this particular case, we see that Dhritarashtra was very inimical from the very beginning of the life of the Pandavas. And he tried in so many ways to harm them, to kill them, to misguide them, to establish his own son. And Mahārāja Vidura was thrown out of the palace by Duryodhana in a very bad way. So even though everybody was insulted, everybody was hurt in their heart. We can notice when somebody is insulting us, then we feel very bad. Yes. Although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that one should learn to tolerate everything. But what about your own family member try to kill you? This is very bad. So naturally, there was so much hurt feeling for everybody. But still, because Dhritarashtra was blind, his wife accepted blindness, and there was no other option for him to go anywhere. He was a king, and he has to lose everything. So the Pandavas and Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, he thought, let us give shelter to our uncle, even though he tried to kill us, even though he tried, forget about the past. So this is Vaishnava behavior. They forgive and they forget. Yes? Because there is the Vaishnava is very open to everything and everybody. He's very strict with himself, but he's very forgiving for everybody else. So Mahārāja Vidura, who had accepted the order of sannyas, he didn't take the danda or anything, but he, inside his heart, he had become a sannyasi, a renouncer, so he went for a particular reason, to rescue his own eldest brother. And of course, in order, we will see in a future chapter of these slokas that Mahātmā Vidura uses some kind of story in order to pull him out of this entanglement. So his motivation was not to go and enjoy in the palace of the Pandavas. His motivation was, how can I free my eldest brother? He did so many wrong things, but still he can go to a higher destination. Because everybody who die in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, they achieve perfection by seeing Krishna. So, of course, we understand this is the pastimes of the Lord. These things happen because of particular reason, manifest in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam for our benefit. So, of course, all these are eternal associate of the Lord. But each one is helping each other to go back to the spiritual world. So he came and he told him, how can you live in a house of the Pandavas, just like a dog? You are old, they give you some food, they give you some facility, but you're so materially attached. So Srila Prabhupada explains sometimes a surgeon has to cut something. Suppose the finger become cancerous. Then the surgeon say the only way is that we can amputate that finger, remove it from the body. Otherwise the whole body will become disease. So similarly, sometimes we had to use some strong words for preaching purpose. But in our age, in our time, in this Kali Yuga, we don't use strong language. We try to tell the truth in a palatable way so that people can receive the message of the Bhagavatam, can receive the message of Krishna. For example, there are some pastimes of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. One time Bhaktivinoda Thakur was giving a lecture and there were 300 people, but he felt the urge to go to the toilet, a call on nature. So he asked his son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, please come and sit and continue the lecture. So he went to the toilet, he did his business, he took bath, he put tilak, it was 15, 20 minutes. When he came back, there were only 3 people. And he asked his son, what happened to the people? He said, I don't know. They have gone. And why? They don't like to hear the truth. Bhaktisiddhanta was such a, strict preacher. He said that he would preach with the axe in his hand. He would not compromise. So he was telling something very, very heavy. So everybody felt, okay, I don't want to listen to this. This is too much. And I want to read for you something which it's very interesting. It's something to do with Mahaprasadam and something to do with Kirtan, which he says. So he said, the words of God and Mahaprasadam cannot be enjoyed, or in other words, cannot be used for sense gratification, or for the gratification of the senses, because they are spiritual. Those who enjoy the kirtan, or any spiritual discourse, or eat the Mahaprasada for appeasing hunger, or for gratification of the palate, are guilty of sacrilegious acts, which serve only to prolong the state of sin and ignorance. This is the greatest possible calamity that can befall the human soul. That's quite heavy, right? We all enjoy taking prasadam. Sometimes we say, oh, this kirtan is not so good. But actually we should enjoy the kirtan, whoever is singing, because it's the name of God. But we are accustomed to think, oh yeah, we want to hear a nice instrument, melodious sound. And we focus more on the instrument, on the sound, instead of the holy name. So he used to be very, very strict, and he used to be a heavy preacher. And there's another pastime. He was walking one day alone with one or two of his disciples, and he saw a group of people, few hundred people, and in the front there was a Mayavadi with the 3 lines. He went straight to him and he slapped him in the face. He said, "Why are you coming in Navadip and Mayapur to preach this nonsense philosophy? You better go away." Now, you need a gut. I've been in many fights. Everybody has sometime. Maybe not. I hope not. But you need a gut to go and slap somebody who has 300 people with him. Right? Especially in Bengal. Right? It happened many times. Sometimes people come and harass the Sankirtan party. They throw the book. And you catch one guy and try to punch him, and then 300 people come, hey, what are you doing? Kikocho to me. They want to beat you. Don't touch. So he did that. He was fearless. He was the lion guru, preacher. So he had no compromise. So similarly, in this pastime, we see Mahārāja Vidura, that he has no compromise. And he's telling to Dhritarashtra, we can read in the next chapter, a very beautiful story. Because Dhritarashtra, if he told him, okay, man, let's go to the forest, he will not listen. So he told him a very nice story. Just like sometimes to children, you have to tell a story in order to take their mind off their enjoyment. So he told him a story that one man just woke up in the morning, and he was in a new place he couldn't find. He say, where I am? Usually when we wake up in the morning, we are in our room, in our bed. We know where we are. We are in Mayapur. But this Brahmana woke up in the morning, he's in the middle of the desert. He said, what happened? It looked like somebody abducted him and put him in the middle of the desert. And he's thinking, what am I going to do now? And it's hot, scorching sun, there is no water. He starts to walk and walk and walk. And from far away he sees some tree. He says, oh, tree, salvation, water, food. Let me go there. He starts to walk toward that destination. But when he reached there, he saw a big, giant wall. And he's thinking, oh my God. But then he go around and trying to find the door of this wall. He couldn't find. There was no door. There was no gate. So he figured out, okay, how can I climb this wall? He found some place that there were some stones sticking out. So he started to climb this giant wall. And he's thinking, man, I'll be safe. If I'm able to overcome this, I'll be safe. I will go the other side. There are trees. And there will be, some water. There will be somebody. There will be some food. But then he climbs on top and he sees, okay, I can get down because there is a slope, but I will not be able to go back. So he has to take a decision now. What I do? Shall I go back into the desert? There's sure death. At least here I have a chance. There's some trees, vegetation. There must be some lake. There must be some people. There must be some food. So he climbed down. And when he started to walk in between the tree and the forest, he saw so many animals. Oh my God. Tiger, lion, jackal, snake. And they all start to look at him. And they start chasing him. They are hungry. They want to eat him. And he starts running. And then he said, my God, it was better in the desert, or better this. If I stop, the animal will catch me and I'll be eaten by them. So his leg get entangled in one kind of vine, a rope, some kind of trap, and he gets pulled up. And he's closing his eyes, and okay, I'm finished, that's it. Now this animal will kill me. But he opened his eyes, and he saw all the animals are looking at him. is suspended on one big, huge well. And he looked down in the well. There's a big snake. There's no water. So he's thinking, oh my God, if I fall this, I break my head. And if I don't break my head, the snake will bite me. And then he saw one Rakshasi, one lady, huge lady, wanted to catch him and eat him because the food for Rakshasas is nice brahmana. Yes, very sweet. So he's like, what's going on? Where I am? What happened to me? He's hanging from these things. But then he sees that there are two rats. They're chewing. The rats like to chew. The rats are chewing on this wine, on this rope. Sometimes the white rat, sometimes the black rat. But then at one point, he starts smiling. He says, oh, very nice. Even though he's in the precarious situation, he starts to feel happy in his heart. And what happened? On top of the tree there is a beehive, and some drop of honey is falling right in his mouth. So he's drinking. Nice. Now I am happy. Now I am satisfied. Now I can regain some strength. So the story goes like this. And of course, the explanation is that in this material world we are like in the same precarious situation. We all think we're going to get some enjoyment. We buy a new car, a new motorbike, a new home, a new bank balance, a wife and children, whatever it is. We think, I'm going to enjoy. Sukham. But then the rats are the night and day. They are biting our life. Time is going by. And the snake in the downstairs in the well is death. We are going to die. So we are in a similar situation. That's how Mahārāja Vidura awakened, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. And eventually him and Gandhari went to the forest, and eventually they left the body in the forest fire, and they went back to God. So Srila Prabhupada said that actually the only way for us to become free from this ignorance of thinking I'm the body, I'm male, I'm female, I'm young, I'm old, I'm this, I'm that, I'm going to get happiness somehow or another. But there is no happiness. Jamma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, birth, death, old age and disease. In whatever situation, whatever position we have, we are in the same position. We have to face this. But for the devotee of the Lord, they develop a desire to go and give the mercy to other living entity. Just remember that we are sitting here today because of one person, Srila Prabhupada, followed the instruction of his guru and went with 40 rupees and few books and preached in America. Who can do that? And he started this ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, from scratch, from nothing, having faith in the mercy of the Lord, in the Holy Name. And so because of his desire to give the mercy, to liberate the conditioned living entity, we now started this process of sadhana bhakti, which is the only way we can go home back to Godhead. Yoga, jnana, austerity, charity, all these things, they cannot help us to attain the supreme goal, which is again reassociate with the Supreme Lord Krishna. So through sadhana bhakti, we can reestablish the lost relationship with Krishna by constantly hearing satatam kirtayanto mam, simply by hearing the chanting of the Holy Name, and especially when the speaker of the Bhagavatam are self-realized. That's why we hear every day Srila Prabhupada lecture of our Gurudev, so we can actually change our heart, purify our mind. Cheto darpanam arjanam. So how we can purify the mind who has been with us for millions and trillions of life, who have been through 8,400,000 different species of life, from Brahma to the insect. How we can do that? So this Kali Yuga, he says, is very, very auspicious. Kalerdosa nide rajan, hasti eko mahaguna, kirtana deva-vat mukta sangha paramrajat. Simply by hearing the chanting of the holy name, we can go back home, back to God. So this is a process. We have to be 100% convinced. We have to apply all the power we have to perform sadhana bhakti, chanting of the holy name, serving Vaishnavas, hearing and preaching Krishna consciousness. These will be Prabhupada books. There are 9 processes of devotional service. Any one will take us back home. But of course, if in the process of ourself becoming self-realized, we can also attract some devotees or some fallen soul. Fallen soul means everybody is part and parcel of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Krishna era Nityadas. So many living entities are roaming around the world and they are lost. They don't remember their connection with Krishna. So we want to bring them back, give them some book, give them some knowledge, give them some prasadam, so they can again reconnect themselves with the Supreme Lord. So that's the mission of our life. Even though we are not 100% purified, even though we are not free from mistake, even though we are not perfected, but we can give the perfect knowledge like a postman, give letters. So we can give Srila Prabhupada books and say, my dear sir, my dear lady, please read this book. You will be greatly benefited. So in that way, we can help the conditioned soul to reconnect. This is called yoga. Yoga means to link the living entity back to the Supreme Lord Krishna. And this is the greatest welfare activity we can perform. Of course, we can give prasadam, of course, we can give cloth. Now it's cold, we can give blanket, we can give a house, we can give residence, we can give donation, we can give gold, cows, so many things we can do. But there is nothing as highest as transcendental knowledge. So this knowledge which we acquire, even if we acquire 5%, 10%, we can use it for enlightening people, enlightening devotees who have forgotten their path, forgotten their connection. We see sometime, I was in Calcutta with the Sankirtan party, and sometime we go and park our van early in the morning, 6 o'clock in Bara Bazaar. This very busy place. And we park our van. Sometimes some of the shop people, they were very upset with us. Why are you parking your van right in front of my shop? Can you get lost? Go park some other place. No, it's okay. But then we put Srila Prabhupada speaker we have on top of the van, and we put the book table, we distribute, and when we put that sound, transcendental sound vibration, Srila Prabhupada chanting, all these people change their consciousness. They become very nice. After some time, they say, oh, Swamiji, you have any book? Oh, show me, you have this language, that language, Hindi, Bengali. So they become very favorable. And then when we go and park the van in the morning, they say, okay, I'll look after your van, no problem. I know you are good people. So this transcendental sound vibration is so powerful. Can change the heart of any conditioned soul. All the conditioned souls are looking for happiness, but they cannot get any. We can get some pleasure for some temporary time, but everybody's looking for eternal, nourishing happiness from your heart, from inside, from within. So that can only be achieved once we reconnect ourselves with the Supreme Lord. So another point Prabhupada made in this purport is that at the time there was interplanetary travel. Now a lot of people speak about UFO. But these UFO, they're from lower planetary system. The demigods used to come with Pushpa Vimana, with an airplane made of flowers. Very beautiful. But now the demigods don't come even in this planet just to go to the toilet. They're not very much attracted. But was possible even, he said that Arjuna traveled with his same body. He went to the heavenly planet. Even with their own body, they had such a power that they could travel. And of course, Abrahma bhuvana aloka purana avartina Arjuna mamupetete kuntaya purna jamma navidyate. From that topmost planet down to the lowest all places of misery where repeated birth and death take place. So for us, we are not desired to go anywhere. It's not that we want to go to the heavenly planet. Let me go and check Indra what he's eating today. Big feast. Who cares? This is all material anyway. Even though they have very long span of life, even though they take amritam, which can repair the body, the wounds, sometimes the demon attack the heavenly planet and they take over. So they are not free from anxiety. We are in anxiety. They are more anxiety. So our desire should be to join the Harinam Sankirtan party every day here in Mayapur in the evening. The Gaurnitai comes out and they're all chanting so we can distribute the holy name of the Lord. And in that way everybody is benefited. In that way everybody becomes very happy in their heart. So I like to stop here today because we have 15 minutes before 9 o'clock. If you have any question, you like to add something, or you like to comment on this particular slogan, we can all get benefit. Yes, Prabhu. Somebody, everybody's convinced, chanting Hare Krishna, go back home, back together.
We, the last couple of days, there's been a lot of statements about telling the truth, not being, not holding back to be polite or flattery. What use is flattery when strong words are required? That kind of thing, like you're talking about the chop method. But it's sometimes we can be right about something, but it doesn't seem like there's any benefit to like we'll criticize someone, and then there's, we may be right, but then how is it beneficial in any way? Like I may think, Acharya Dev's gone mad. He's formed his own society. He doesn't wear devotional clothes or tilak anymore, and he's just disobeying so many of Prabhupada's instructions. So that may be all true, but then what is the benefit of me criticizing someone else, worrying about what they're doing wrong instead of worrying about what I'm doing wrong? Even if I'm right.
Yeah, I think Vedic culture is very wide open. So we shouldn't criticize anybody, understanding that the Lord has a plan. So we can accommodate every Vaishnava, in whatever shape, form, dress, tilak, not tilak, whatever it is. If the person is sincere in his heart, we don't have to go there and establish, you are wrong, I am right. Well, we are not kids, We have to have open mind and think, okay, this is Krishna's plan. There's some other way of preaching we don't see. There is some other thing we don't see behind. So let us continue our path towards self-realization and follow the truth. Now, we don't have to go and criticize anybody. There is a famous story. Jesus say, everybody come and say, you are having a small thing in your eyes, but when they don't see the big trunk they have in their own eyes. So the idea is that, who am I to criticize anybody? Am I perfect? No. Am I free from fault? No. Am I free from illusion? No. Am I completely truthful 100% all the time? Maybe not. So why I need to criticize anybody? So Krishna has a plan. Krishna is in the heart of all humanity. We have that knowledge that Krishna is the controller of the whole universe. So if somebody wants to take some other way of preaching, of course, Prabhupada say to some of his disciples, I want you to come in Vrindavan with a dress like a coat, because he was a scientist, to show his other god brother that this British boy is a PhD in science, so he's dressed like a PhD. So dress doesn't make the priest, in other words. Sometimes there are different tactics for preaching. Like if they invite you to the university in New York, if you go dressed like this, people think, oh, who is this guy? But maybe if you go dressed with a tie and suit, then people think, oh, maybe he's a professor. Let's hear what he has to say. So there are different techniques for preaching. And we are not trying to establish, I'm right, you're wrong. Even in preaching to ordinary people, we are trying to find a good aspect of them and enter with a nice sweetness. Okay, what about Krishna saying this? Could you understand that this is what the Supreme Lord is telling us? Because practically speaking, in the material world, they all think we are coming from the monkey. But we're not. We're coming from higher species. And in the ancient time, we were very, very advanced. If you go traveling in South India, you can see some temple completely carved out of the mountain, even to design something. And even they say, okay, with a chisel and hammer, you cannot possibly do this. They had some higher knowledge that can maybe make the stone by mantra soft and carve it. There is some unbelievable work which was built thousands and thousands of years ago. So, we are not coming from monkey. We were not Neanderthal, we are not stupid. We are coming from higher. Now we are becoming like monkey. We are becoming like animal actually, always with a mobile phone. Okay, yeah, what's up man, what's up man, what? So the idea is not to try to impress people how much knowledge I have. The idea is that how can this person I'm speaking to be benefited in some way. Either you make him repeat the mantra, or you give him some prasadam, or you give him some book. Because Prabhupada say, okay, what's the use of your 10-minute preaching to somebody? The people go away and they think, the guy was stupid, whatever. But if you give him a book, or you give him some prasadam, and the person eat the prasadam, that will plant the seed in the heart, so that maybe not this life, maybe next life, atato brahma jigyasa, I start to inquire about the absolute truth. So an expert preacher is just like a doctor. You understand, okay, what level this person is. So how can you make him go next level, next step? You don't have to bombard him and kill him with knowledge. You cannot take it. But step by step, little by little, we can make people more advanced. And we, from my understanding, is that we don't have to criticize anybody. Unless we are in a position where you are in charge, temple president, GBC, you have to correct situation. We, in management, they say, either you lead, or you follow, or you move out of the way. So, are we leaders? Are we followers? I'm a follower. So I follow Srila Prabhupada, I follow the authority of the temple, I follow what they tell me to do. I am no problem. Just like a soldier who goes in the battlefield, he kills so many people, he's given a medal. Why? Because he had on authority of the government to go and defeat the enemy. But if he comes back home and takes his AK-47 and somebody park his car in front of him and go and kill him, they'll arrest him. And he say, oh, I killed so many people in Afghanistan. Yeah, but this is not Afghanistan. You are in your home. You don't have to kill anybody. Does this answer your question? So I think we should be open-minded. There's no need. Internet is full of criticism, left, right, upside down. There is no need of criticizing it by looking. Let's look inside our heart and think, I'm very far away from Krishna Prema. How can I reach there? How can I purify myself? How can I worship all the devotees of the Lord who are trying their level best? And if you offend somebody, maybe the person doesn't get offended, but Krishna gets upset with us. Even neophyte devotee. We shouldn't criticize anybody. Everybody's on a different level. Everybody's trying his level best. If we can correct them by nice speaking to them, if they can accept, we'll tell them, Prabhuji, what do you think about this? You know, how did I see this? I see that you're doing this, maybe not the best way. Can I teach you another way to do it? Maybe it's good. But if the person is not able to accept, leave him alone. Eventually we realize we don't want to offend the Vaishnava because that will cut our plan to devotion. The creeper will create some problem for us. So the best way is not to criticize anybody and say, okay, Krishna has some plan. We're all surrendered to the Lord. You want me, Rake Krishna Mare Krishna. You want to kill me? I am not this body. You want to protect me? Whatever you want. So I don't want to go to heavenly planet. I want to come back to Krishna, to the spiritual world. I want to enjoy with you in whatever form, in whatever relationship I may befit you, serving you. So that's our mood. Is this answering your question? Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for your class. Thank you for answering this question nicely. I just wanted to add a small comment.
Sure.
And this is in no way meant to encourage criticism or criticize somebody. But also this question is, we are saying we don't want to focus on others. We have so much to focus on ourselves. Right? We have our own plane to fly. Why should we bother about other devotees, flying their planes, unless we have something to benefit them, right? We are all struggling with our own spiritual lives, but we are also focusing on what others are doing. So if somebody criticizes me, I will take a look. I will see, is it valid criticism? Does it apply to me? Is there something I need to do to correct myself? Or the person is just being envious and, he is not able to take, my spiritual progress or whatever. So my point is, we should also not focus on what others are doing. If somebody calls me a Shudra or a Mleccha, yes, I am fallen soul. So I go to Lord Chaitanya and I say, I am the most fallen, and this person helped me realize this. So, what is there to be proud of, really, from where we come from, whatever our background may be. One of the verses before was even if you come from an aristocratic family or high birth, you go to Lord Chaitanya, it's not a qualification to ask for mercy. The only qualification is to feel unqualified to receive the mercy. So in this way also, I think we should just be worried about our own spiritual progress, not what others are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And even at the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we have a pastimes connected with Jagai Madai. And after Jagai Madai surrendered to Gauranga and received the mercy, so many people that used to be scared of him, because Lord Chaitanya gave them a service. You go and make a ghat and clean it every day so the devotees can come and take bath. But when the devotees saw Jagai Madai there, they got scared. I won't go to the ghat. This guy, they're killers, they're this, they're that. They still remember them into their old way. So Lord Chaitanya said that whoever sees them in a sinful way, what they were, now they're no more, they will take their sin upon them. So we're not concerned if somebody, okay, we shouldn't give chance for people to criticize us, but there will be always somebody who don't like my nose, who don't like whatever, the way I dress. There will be always somebody who will say something. So just ignore them and say, I'm trying to follow Prabhupada to the best level I can. I'm very sorry if I disturb you in for particular way. Whatever I'm doing for my personal spiritual realization. So, what can I say? If we go into debate with all the people who have some problem with us, we'll never end up. And we end up becoming very, very offensive. So best is to just say, okay, yes, I am a dented can, I am fallen soul, I am a Sudras, Kalo Sudras Āvahan, we are all Sudras. Okay, I'm trying to become devotees, please help me. So that's the best way. But one thing I can tell you, the quality which all Prabhupada disciples had when Srila Prabhupada was present in this planet is where whatever Prabhupada said them to do, they will do it. However problem they had, some of them were not chanting, some of them they have sex problems, somebody has smoking problems, somebody, whatever. But Prabhupada was a general, say, okay, go to London and start the temple. They had no money, nothing. They went and they did it. That was one qualification with all Prabhupada disciples had, that whatever Prabhupada say, they'll follow, 100%. And they were very young, they were 20 years old. Now, if you go back and look and they say, oh, this guy is fallen, that guy is fallen, but they did a great service for the movement, and we should appreciate what they did. So in that way, we don't criticize anybody. We try to always appreciate. We can say the glass is half, or the glass is full, half. So we should, in our mind, thinking, all these people, they're great devotees. All these visitors who are coming to Mayapur, potentially they're great devotees. So let us all respect them with utmost care and love from our heart. You know, that doesn't mean we're going to embrace everybody, but we respect them. So the respect must be there. So it's 9 o'clock, we close the class here, otherwise our in charge is here and you maybe complain. I don't want to hear any complaint from him. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.